So why Audioslave? I mean, a lot of groups try to play it in Cuba. So why did you make it in the end then?
I don't think groups try very hard. You know?
It's brickly, dude. You got see, I'm sucking mine down to get a thinner, so then I can more mold it into an actual, what looks more like a tooth.
What's wrong with my teeth?
Like they're not from America. They were a band that could have done that, and it would have been an amazing thing.
I know why they didn't do it.
Why?
Well, they're not American. They do a lot of business in America. They don't want to. They didn't want to piss off America. I'm sure that's why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't it that easy for you
They did the opening
to?
of the presidential library. You know, they don't want to make those guys mad.
Was it that easy for you to get the whole thing down? I mean,
They hype it up as, oh, you don't do that. It's going to be hard. You're going to be watched. You're going to be, don't fuck up. Don't say anything. Don't, this, don't go here. And it's all at the end of the day, it was like, we did it. Mm-hmm. Most people hear that stuff and just go, oh, we're not going to do it. Sounds too hard. But we went and did it, and we just said, fuck it, we're going to do it, and we followed through, and we did it, and at the end of the day, it wasn't that hard, and it wasn't what you would think, and in my mind, what I thought Cuba was and what Cuba is are two completely different things. And then I am so excited that we stuck to our guns, and we're there, and we went there, and we won, and we played there, and we'll go back.
Could you bring me back one of my backup sets of yours, please, the new one? One of the new backups, thank you.
so you played at a place called Anti-imperialist Plaza. That's kind of an ironic spot for the first U.S. band to play, don't you think?
Let me tell you about the little billboard that was on the back. How did that work? It was a dove carrying a swastika.
A giant swastika. You could fill this room with.
Okay, that some people put with this huge swastika on it, and then there was like pictures of Abu Ghraib or something, or what else was on that? What did that imply?
It was like it looked like, to me, two Iraqi prisoners that were chained to the fronts of cells with bags over their heads.
Yeah, and they were on the side of it, and it was like against America and against all that.
I mean, to me, what I got from it was those were shots of us mistreating the U.S. mistreating Iraqi soldiers, and basically going, come the fuck on. But it's facing what is the U.S. consulate.
Yeah.
So the U.S. consulate looks out the window and sees that.
It's pretty amazing.
They took that down for our show.
Yeah.
But I heard of just only one American flag turned upside down in the audience or something.
Yeah.
But
that's like one of the things they say, oh, don't bring the flags, don't fly the flag upside down, don't wear flags on your shirt. And if we could have done any of that, you know what I'm saying? They hype it up. Shows up with
you waved the Cuban flag in the end.
Yeah, of course. I waved a few flags, the Cuban flag and the Argentinian flag, and because there's a lot of South American countries that send people over there to go to school because they're some of the best schools, like medical schools in the world. So it's actually fairly international. Latin American countries send people there to learn stuff. And I met a lot of people that weren't even Cuban when we were there in Havana, because it's a big city, it's like any city. But the main thing I think is that if you live in the U.S., I don't know what it's like here in Germany, but in the U.S., they don't show you much of what's going on. Partly because they don't have that information, but partly because they don't want to show you. They paint a pretty grim picture of what Cuba is like, and they seem to make it. They seem to paint a picture that if you are a citizen of Cuba, you're going to want to jump on a raft,
and get float over to Florida.
Yeah,
that is what it is, and that's what
That's what they report. They report that. They report people risking their lives to leave. But when we were there, you see some poverty coming into Havana, and you see poverty in Havana, but you see poverty outside of Detroit. I mean, Jesus Christ, you see it everywhere. But you also, knowing the history. In a sense, it's like it's so inspiring that because we know what these people have been through from these embargoes that were in place since before I was born, and I'm 40 years old, and yet they have some of the best medical schools in the world, the best musicians, the best this, the best that. People are happy. People. At night they gather in squares all over the place and they just play music, and they're healthy. To be able to do all that and to keep that attitude through all of the adversity over the last like 45 years is phenomenal. I mean, here's a people with some pretty amazing spirit.
Here's the last question because we're a bit in a rush. So there's this line in your booklet saying all sounds by guitar, bass, drums, vocals. Why do you put such an emphasis on that?
That's something that started with Rage, right?
Yeah, that sort of originated, to be honest with you, through Tom's guitar playing, and us at the time when we were with Rage not wanting people to think we had a DJ up on stage or we were looping things or anything like that. And we wanted it to be clear that this was a traditional rock band format.
Right.
And it just sort of stuck. It's something that I'm proud that it's stuck around, because we don't use loops and we don't even play to clicks, you know, but we are using technology to make our music, but it's all organic, you know. I hear the Fender bass guitars, and I hear the Fender guitars and the Gibson guitars, and I hear Chris's voice in it, and I hear Brad's drums in an organic way, and it feels great, and I'm glad that we do it that way.
Yeah, I don't. Well, this question's come before, and I remember the first time that I saw Tom and Brad and Tim play was with Rage in '96, and I hadn't read that on one of their records yet, and I didn't know. I thought that they did have like a DJ, and that some of that stuff was like scratching or keyboard or something like that. So then I saw them, and there wasn't anything like that. I was like, God, I was actually very impressed with the fact that all those sounds were coming from those three instruments. So then when I saw a record and it said that, it was like, oh great, you know, they actually wrote that, which is very smart, I think.